The GALIL. It's a fully automatic weapon and locked at level 20. Damage output is moderate, slightly higher than the low damage weapons such as the FAMAS and Enfield, but lower than the semi-automatic assault rifles. You'll kill in 3 shots to the body at close range, and unlike the low damage assault rifles, you'll be able to kill in just 2 headshots within effective range. Rate of fire is relatively slow for its class at 750 rounds per minute. Recoil is light, in part thanks to this slower fire rate. Fully automatic fire is reasonably easy to control. At longer ranges you're still better off firing in bursts, but overall the GALIL is one of the more controllable assault rifles. Aim time is standard at 250 milliseconds, but the reload is the slowest in the assault rifle category at 2.8 seconds. Magazine capacity is very good at 35 rounds by default. Extended mags takes the GALIL to the highest capacity weapon in the assault rifle category at 50 rounds. This edge in capacity makes extended mags a very worthy option. 50 rounds between reloads is a luxury not seen outside the LMG category, and will allow you to engage larger groups of enemies than would otherwise be possible. Paired with the slower rate of fire, you'll be able to keep firing in a situation where another assault rifle user might need 2 or more reloads in the same space of time. The GALIL is also quite well suited to the suppressor. Its relatively high damage means the range loss isn't critical, so you'll be capable of 3-hit kills out to some distance. You'll also remain hidden on the minimap, so when stealth is your preferred option, the suppressor is a good choice. With the high capacity and damage of the GALIL, it's the perfect weapon for taking out enemies lurking behind cover. So for our class loadout, we're focusing on denying the enemy defensive positions by slicing through cover with a large volume of fire. Our first perk, Scavenger, permits a more liberal use of the trigger. When firing blind through walls, it's likely you'll burn through magazine after magazine. Scavenger resupplies you in the field, and Scavenger Pro will increase your starting supply, meaning that you'll very rarely need to worry about your ammunition. Our second perk choice is an obvious one if you plan on having the edge when firing through cover. Hardened increases retained damage when firing through surfaces, meaning that you'll find it much easier to kill an opponent when there's something in between you and your foe. The Pro variant will also help keep you on target when taking incoming fire, something which may tilt a gunfight in your favour. Our final perk rounds out our class by giving us an X-ray insight into the potential locations of your enemy. Hacker highlights enemy equipment in red, which not only prevents needless deaths when on the move, it also grants you an insight as to where the enemy team may be hiding. As the GALIL is slow to reload, you'll want to equip a pistol in your secondary slot. That way, if you're caught with an empty magazine, you won't be defenseless, as you'll be able to quickly switch and have at least some means of a close-range defense. For your grenades, frags are more versatile than the sticky Semtex, and given that our class is focused on enemies in buildings and behind cover, the frag's ability to bounce around corners and through windows is an important one. For your tactical slot, concussion grenades make for a good close-quarter defense, and are capable of slowing down an enemy behind cover, so you can finish them off before they escape. Nova gas can also be used to restrict the movements of your opponent. The motion sensor is another tool you can use to establish the position of enemies behind cover, and otherwise is a useful close-range guard when taking a defensive position. Not all cover is created equal. There are certain types of material which are better suited to shooting through. Thin-walled buildings made of sheet metal or plywood are ideal. If you suspect an enemy lies within, with hardened your bullets will have no trouble penetrating the thin cover, while still dealing considerable damage. Thicker cover, and in cases where your shot travels through multiple surfaces, are more troublesome. Thick concrete, brick and sandbags are not so easily penetrated, so shooting through these may be futile, as your opponent may have time to move before you're able to inflict sufficient damage to kill. The GALIL is a weapon with unparalleled capacity, unbeaten within the assault rifle category when paired with extended mags. It couples this with clear iron sights, good damage and low recoil, making it a great weapon for most ranges, and a weapon that rivals some of the LMGs for its capability against groups of enemies. It does share some of the negative traits of the LMG class, however. Its reload is the slowest in the assault rifle category, so if you're ever caught dry, you'll only have your secondary to fall back on. The slower rate of fire also means you might struggle in close range engagements. The SMGs and faster firing assault rifles will have the edge up close. The positives outweigh these downsides though, and the GALIL is a weapon that handles very nicely, and one that's quite capable of performing very well.